I'm with Veterans Yoga Project, and I'm really happy that you're able to join me here today for this practice. And this practice is going to be more about a little bit more relaxed, but we're going to focus more on good mechanics in our practice. And I'm using a chair as which is available for me. But again, if you choose to do everything on the mat without a chair, that's fine too. All right, so we'll be offering a lot of choices for modifications based on what you're feeling in your body today. So that's really very important that you're paying attention to the physical sensations that you're experiencing in your body. So I always like to talk about the 5 tools that we bring into a practice, about breathing a little easier, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out, moving a little freer in the body. We're going to focus our mind, and we'll have a little bit of rest at the end and an attitude of gratitude. Those are the 5 tools of mindful resilience. So we're going to begin by finding your comfortable seat, getting really grounded. So if you're sitting on the floor, notice the places where your body, your sit bones are grounding. If you're sitting in a chair, notice how the feet are planted on the floor, your hips, where your hips are sitting on the chair. Think about creating length in your spine as you're lifting up through the crown of your head, and let your hands rest comfortably on your knees or on your lap or in any position that feels at ease in your body. Take a moment now to just scan the physical body from the crown of your head down to your feet. Notice places of ease and comfort in your body. And then maybe notice places where you may not feel so much at ease in your body. There's tightness or tension. And if you need to make an adjustment in your physical body to feel a little bit more comfortable, supported, take whatever you need. Pause here now and just notice what brings you to practice today. I think it's really important at times to notice and put an intention to what it is that you're working on or what you might need to receive, whether it's a physical healing or an emotional healing or spiritual healing. Just sort of think about what that might be for you right now and set your intentions for this practice. And then I invite you to notice the quality of your breath as you breathe in and breathe out. So the breath is one of the most important parts of your practice. It really helps you to learn to self-regulate, to deal with stress and anxiety. So let's work on our breath right now. So I'm going to invite you to do a cleansing breath by breathing deep in through the nostrils. So as you inhale, you're going to breathe deep into the bowl of your belly, fill your lungs all the way up from bottom to top. And then open your mouth with a sigh and exhale it all out. And let's do that again. Breathe deep in through the nose, fill the lungs to capacity, and then exhale all the way out through your mouth with a sigh. And we'll do that cleansing breath one more time. Please breathe deep into the bowl of your belly, and then exhale out through your mouth with a sigh. The exhalation on this type of breathing is so key to what helps to self-regulate our parasympathetic nervous system to get us into a more relaxed state. So I encourage you throughout our practice today to focus on a nice big deep inhale and a nice long exhale as we move. So we're going to start to mobilizing the spine. So I'm going to invite you to just side to side, there's no right or wrong way here. I invite you to just move your body from side to side, and as you start to do that, just notice what your body feels just by moving side to side. Do you feel tightness? Do you feel tension? What's going on in your shoulders? What's going on in your upper back and your neck? Just being aware of those felt sensations. And again, don't get caught up on the way it looks. It's more about experiencing how it feels. Good. So I call this the spinal wave. And then we're going to bring it in a circle. So just circle forward, to the side, to the back, to the other side. 3 times. Just circle your spine around. And again, just be aware of all of those sensations. If you're feeling tightness in one spot, maybe you want to understand what's going on there. And then reverse. So I like to sometimes, if I feel a sticky spot, I stay there for a second and then I move through it and just observe and see if you just kind of move through that with an intention and awareness with a breath, see if it loosens up. Good, and then let's come back up to the center. And again, whether you're sitting in a chair or sitting on the ground, just move in a way that it feels supportive for you. The next we're going to do is going to be an extension of the spine and flexion. So I'm just going to come over to the side. So when I extend, I'm lifting up through my sternum, going long in my spine, like a cat and a cow, they call this. On your exhale, you're going to round the back. And as you round the back, tuck your chin, draw your shoulders in, and exhale. So the inhale, sit up nice and tall. Broaden your collarbone, open your shoulders nice and wide, and then when you exhale, round your shoulders, tuck your chin, and squeeze that navel center all the way to the back of the spine. And let's do that one more time. Inhale all the way up, broaden your collarbone and your neck and shoulders, and then on your exhale, round, tuck your chin and round. Good. Now, as you come up again, we're going to add on the arms. And when you add the arms into this, it's going to create a little bit more energy, more movement. So it's going to look like this. When you're going to lean forward, reach your arms forward, lift up, and then look up if you can. Get that nice stretch up. And then on your exhale, you're going to bend elbows, make a fist, and bicep them curl as you round your back. That's an exhale. The inhale is reaching forward and lifting up. And then on your exhale, make a fist, elbows in like you're doing a bicep curl, and hug it in really tight as you round your back. This is really good for stretching out the spine. Let's do one more. Reach forward, look up, and then on your exhale, bring it in nice and tight and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then allow yourself to come right back up again, and then just notice how that feels. We're going to add next a little twist. So I don't want you to overextend in a twist because we're early on in our practice, but I just want you to, whether if you're sitting on the floor or sitting in a chair, bring one hand to the opposite knee and bring the opposite hand to the side of the chair or behind you. Sit up tall and look over to the side. Gentle twist. Again, this is early on in the practice. You don't want to over twist your spine, but lift up through the crown of your head as you inhale. And then on your exhale, gently turn and feel that felt sensation of the twist in the back body. Take one more breath. And then when you exhale, gently come back towards the middle. Pause a moment and feel the energy in your back body. We'll move now to the other side. So bring one hand to the opposite knee. The other hand can be behind you or on the back of the chair. Sit up tall so you're lifting up through the crown of the head as you inhale, and then on your exhale, twist looking over to the opposite side. And again, just observing, notice how that feels in your body. We'll take another nice inhale here, sit up tall on your inhalation, and then on your exhale, gently twist. And then slowly come back to center. Let's do some shoulder rolls, and I'm going to invite you to, we're going to isolate right and left. So just take one shoulder forward, up, back, and down, and then opposite shoulder, forward, up, back, and down. Repeat, forward, up, back, and down. Other shoulder, forward, up, back, and down. Now let's do them both together. Roll them forward, lift them up, roll them back and down. Let's do it with the breath now. Inhale, bring them forward and up. And then exhale out through the mouth as you bring them back and down. One more time. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Let your hands rest for a moment. Tilt your ear to your shoulder. And as you do that, feel the stretch along the side of the neck. Gently lift your chin up and roll your opposite ear to the other side now. So we're gently doing neck rolls, lower the chin. We're going to repeat. Lower your ear to your shoulder, lift your chin, neck roll all the way across your back to the opposite side, and then lower your chin. We'll repeat now, go in the opposite direction from what you just did. Lower your ear to the shoulder, lift your chin, roll all the way across your back, and then lower your chin again. Tilt your ear to the shoulder. Lift your chin as you roll across the back of your neck, opposite ear to opposite shoulder, and then release. Slowly come back up now. We're going to interlace your hands behind the back of your neck, elbows out to the side, and I'm going to invite you to lift up nice and tall. Look up. You're resting the back of your head in your palms of your hands like a pillow. Inhale. And then on your exhale, lean over to one side and side bend, stretch as you exhale. Inhale, slowly come back up, and then side bend to the opposite side. Let's repeat. Inhale, come on up. On your exhale, side bend. Open up your elbows as wide as you can. Feel that stretch broadening across the back. Inhale, come up in the sides of your waist, getting a nice stretch as you exhale to the opposite side. And then slowly come all the way up. Interlace your fingers. Now bring your hands behind your back if you can. You're going to interlace your hands if you can. If you can't do that, just grab the back of your chair or the back of your shirt. Interlace. Draw your shoulders down the back. Lift up your heart. Lift your sternum. Now we're going to come into a forward fold. If this is available for you, if you have low back issues, you may not want to go too far forward, but start to lean. As you lean, maybe lift your arms away from your back. So we're doing a forward fold. Feel the stretch one. Be mindful of your back. Take another big deep inhale. As you exhale, slowly release your arms, relax your hands, and slowly come back up to an upright position. Pause here and just notice that felt sensation in the muscles of your back, body, your spine. Take a nice big deep inhale and exhale out. Next, we're going to do a hamstring stretch. So if your legs are folded and you're seated on the floor, I'm going to invite you to extend them straight out in front of you. If you're sitting in a chair, we're going to do one at a time in a chair, okay, just to stay stable and balanced. Extend one leg out. But you're going to take the leg that's extended out, take your hand across the top, and start to lean forward and stretch into that hamstring. So you're going to get a nice stretch. You're going to feel that in the hamstring as you lean forward. And alternatively, if you're sitting on the floor, if your hamstrings are really, really tight, you might want to do one leg at a time as well. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Now we're going to alternate legs. If you're in the chair, extend the opposite leg out. For those seated on the floor, you're going to come forward again. Inhale, slide your hands forward as you lean. Try to keep a long spine. Try not to round the back. So the action here, and again, we're working on good mechanics, so keep the spine long. Lean forward, and if you start to feel the back rounding too much, back away. And really press through the heel, toes pointed up, knees pointed up. You're going to feel a really deep stretch in your hamstrings. And then slowly come back up. Pause. And just notice if you want to shake your legs out, give them a little shake. If you're in a chair, you can just rock your knees from side to side. Now the next stretch is for your, what we call a piriformis stretch. You're going to cross your ankle over your knee, and I have some precautions for that. If you have a hip replacement, it may not be a good idea to do this posture, so I'm going to say repeat the hamstring stretch if that fits your case. But if you're able to cross your right ankle over your left knee, go ahead. Now, if you're seated on the floor, it might look something like this. You're going to extend and cross. Use your hands behind you, and you're probably going to feel a really deep stretch right in the back of your hip. That's your piriformis. That's a spot where many people suffer sciatic issues. So it's really helpful to work on this particular stretch. So just by crossing your ankle over your knee, if you can get it there, great. If you can't, then you're going to modify, just place it over your shin or your ankle. Okay, so always know there's various levels that you can do this stretch. If you're feeling this now in your hip, and I'm going to go back to the chair just to show how this might look. You're going to gently move take the thigh bone and just gently move it back and forth. I call this, you're sort of like opening and closing right at the hip joint. This brings in nourishment right into the hip. You're getting a lot of flesh nutrients moving right into that hip joint. We want to keep the hip joint nice and mobile. And then if you can, keep it open and take a nice big inhale. For those of you, if you're not in any kind of pain, if you don't have sciatic issues or pain, you're going to start to lean forward. And as you lean forward, you're going to feel the intensity of this stretch. This is a really deep hip stretch, all right? Similar to the pigeon pose that some of us do, but this is pigeon in a chair or pigeon seated. It's a really good way of getting into that sciatic nerve. Now slowly come back up. When you release the leg, maybe hug it into your chest and then relax it, shake it out. Maybe windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Whether you're sitting on the ground or sitting in a chair, just windshield wiper to release the hips, get the hinges of your hips really flowing. All right, again, we'll try the opposite leg. So cross your opposite ankle on your opposite knee. And again, notice that stretch. If you're feeling that pulling sensation, that's getting right into that muscle called the piriformis. It's a nice, really good stretch to get deep into there, that hip. A lot of people have that piriformis problem, so this is really a very good pose. So start here with just gently taking your thigh bone, lifting it up and down. It's like a little movement here, just increasing the flow of blood and into your tissues, into the around the joint. Just get that mobilization. It's really important to mobilize these joints, especially as we age. We want to have all of our joints very mobilized. So this is a good way of getting it mobile. And then once you feel like a little bit at ease in the posture, you're going to hold the pose, take a breath, and now as you exhale, lean forward. And as you lean forward, you're going to feel the intensity of the stretch. Don't go too far. Again, this is observing your body. Feel that felt sensation. Be aware of what you're feeling in your body right now. Take another big breath. Exhale out. If you notice, if you flex your foot, it increases a little bit more. So again, if you're not feeling this, flex your foot. This helps to protect your knee joint as well. So take another nice big breath here. Exhale out through the mouth. And then slowly back away. Release, and then just windshield wiper your hips from side to side. Okay, for those of you who are on the ground, we're going to come up and do some lunges. All right, so if you want to stand, you're going to stand. And for those of us on the chair, we're going to do some lunges on the chair. Okay, so we're going to begin by extending one foot forward. Now, importance, again, we're really going to work on good mechanics. So if you're standing, your knee is bent, your knee is over your ankle, and knees and toes are always going in the same direction. Now, if you're staying in the chair, this is where sometimes working with the chair, again, I said you can really feel a good stretch here. So what we're working on is your hip flexors and psoas. So we're going to try to really open up through the hips here. So if your one leg is extended, the other foot behind, your toes are tucked under, all right? And now if you can, you're going to inhale and stretch the leg nice and long, and then exhale, bend. All right, so inhale, stretch. You're going to feel that stretch right across the hip, and then exhale, bend the back knee. And we'll do that one more time, stretch, and then bend the back knee. Great, good job. We're going to switch to the other side. So change legs for those standing. If you're staying in the chair, you're just going to switch to the opposite direction. Make sure the forward foot, the knee is over the ankle. Toes, you should be able to look over your knee and see the toes of the foot, okay? The back leg extends as far back as you comfortably can go in your hip, all right? You can support yourself by holding a hand on the chair, even one hand on your hip, and you're gonna extend, straighten the back leg, and then you're gonna bend the knee with a dip. And then you're going to extend, straighten. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the back. Keep your shoulders squared to the front, and then bend. So again, remember, really focus on good mechanics. One more time, you're going to extend. Really feel that stretch in the hip flexor. That's your psoas. And then as you bend, come back up to center, and then come back together. So for those of you standing, you can bring your legs together. Those in a chair, back and forth. All right, so that's a lunge. Now we're going to do another lunge variation with a twist, okay? So going to the opposite side again. So remember, you're stepping your foot forward, knee is bent over the ankle, extend the leg behind, all right? For those, so extend the leg as much as you can. That really opens up the hip now. You immobilize that joint, so hopefully you can sustain this. Now, if you're going to add a twist, you're going to bring your right hand or the outside hand to the knee that's bent, and then look over your shoulder for a twist, okay? So we're going to twist, we're going to hold for the breath. Take a nice big inhale, exhale. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Breath in, and then exhale out through your mouth. And then one more time, inhale, and exhale out through your mouth. Excellent. Come back out of your twist. If you're standing now, come back to stand. You can bring your feet together. If you're in the chair, just windshield wiper your knees back and forth. We're going to move to the other side. So, again, take your lunge pose. So if you're standing without the chair, forward, extended leg, knee over the ankle. You're on the ball of the back foot. We're going to add the twist. Now, for some of you, bringing the hand to the knee, or some of you might even want to bring your elbow to the knee. So I'm going to give that, but do whatever you did on the other side. So if you're sitting in a chair, you're going to look over your shoulder. Take a breath. I'm going to do 3 breaths here. So inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale as you twist. And then hold that twist again for another breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. And last one. And exhale, release. Good job. Come back to center. And then I'm going to invite everyone to stand with or without a chair. In this case, I'm going to bring a chair. You're using a chair for support. You're going to face the back of the chair towards you. For those of you without a chair, you're going to stand your feet about hip-width distance apart. We're going to actually do the chair pose. Again, working on the mechanics, it's really what I would like you to do, your feet about hip-width distance apart or a little bit wider. If you're not sure what your hip distance is, I generally like to take my both fists, place them right between my big toes, all right? And that gives me a sense of where my hip width is. Now, if you can keep your hands on the chair for stability, but I want you to stand tall in your mountain. So really ground down through the 4 corners of your feet, as if you're making an impression in the earth with your feet. Your hips are over your heels, your shoulders are over your hips, okay? So stand tall. So in mountain is a really nice, strong pose. You're lifting up through the crown of the head and rooting down through your feet. To come into chair, you're going to shift your hips way back, like you're sitting in a chair. You're going to bend your knees, but slide the femurs back. So you're shifting your hips back like you're coming into squat. All right? And what's really important here, when you look down, you should still be able to see your toes. All right? That's very, very important. We're going to try to connect to your core. So I want you to draw some tone into the core by imagining you have an imaginary zipper and you're zipping that zipper up gently to create tone in your core. This helps protect the lower back. And then when you come out of the pose, you're going to press into your feet to stand tall. Use your quads, your glutes, and your core to stand tall. So this pose is a really very strong pose, and we're going to repeat that 10 times together. Now, whether you're holding onto the chair, you can inhale. On your exhale, we're going to shift back into chair. Root down, and then inhale, rise up. That's for 10. Sit back and rise up for 9. Now, if you don't want to hold on to the chair, you can extend your arms straight out and come on up for 8. Sit back nice and strong. Make sure form. Remember, good mechanics. Come on up. I think 7. Inhale. Stand tall for 6. Halfway through. Sit back for 5. Sit back. Stand tall. 4. Really use those quads and the glutes. For 3. Sit back. 2. Last one. Hold. Relax your shoulders. Focus out in front of you. Keep your heart open, throat open. Soften your cheeks. Relax your lips. Feel the muscles engaged, really engaged here in your chair. Good mechanics, grounding through the 4 corners of your feet. Stay for 2 more breaths if you can, or come up if you need to. This is your practice. Listen to your body. 1 more breath as you inhale. Lift your arms. Stand tall. Press your palms to touch. Look up. When you exhale, draw your thumbs to your third eye. Pause here for a moment. Acknowledge this place of your truth and light. Bring your hands in front of your lips and your throat. Pause here in a place where you speak your truth with kind words to yourself and to others. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow in. Take a moment to always remember to be true to yourself. Let your hands come down by your sides. Bring your shoulders forward and up and down your back. Just observe those felt sensations now, the heat and the energy that we may have been building up with that posture. We're going to move now into a warrior pose. So I'm going to invite you to separate your feet nice and wide, wider than your hip. And you're going to point, if you're using a chair, you're going to point your foot towards the chair. The back foot would be parallel to the back of your mat. So we're going to bend your knee that's in the toe. So we're going to bend and extend. And we're going to bend the knee and extend. We'll do that 2 more times. Bend and extend, right? 1 more time, bend and extend. Now the next time you bend, make sure your knee is over the ankle. We're going to add the arms for warrior 2. So extend your arms nice and wide, parallel. You can keep the hand on the chair for balance, or you can extend it out. And your gaze is over the middle finger of the warrior. And this is one of my most favorite postures. I love to feel you're grounded in your feet. Feel the earth. Nice and strong arms. Gaze is over that middle finger. From the warrior pose, I'm going to invite you to move into what I call extend, straighten your front leg, lift your arm up. This is called reverse triangle. And just look, if you can, gaze up to the extended arm. Breathe into the sides of your waist and create lots of space here. Expand from your fingers to fingers. Root down through your feet. So feel the limbs of your body really expressing and extending. Standing your ground, but let that energy expand. Take 1 more breath here. Make your way back to warrior 2 by bending your knee, lowering your arm, focusing, and then releasing, lowering your arms down, parallel your feet, and stand together in your mountain pose for a moment. Just observe, without judgment, just observe. Beautiful. We'll move now into the other side. So opposite side, separate your feet a good hip-width distance apart. Point the opposite foot in the opposite direction. Back foot is parallel. Front foot, you're going to bend your knee. As you bend your knee, make sure knees and toes go in the same direction. Bend and extend. Your shoulders and hips are squared open. Knee is tracking the same direction as your toe as you bend and extend, mobilizing the knee joint, mobilizing the hip joint. Bend and extend. Next time you bend, we're going to hold. Keep the knee bent. Extend the arms parallel. You can still keep the hand resting on the chair or extend it out. Gaze is over the middle finger, focusing on a point in front of you. Find your breath. Feel the breath as you take nice, long, slow inhales. Fill your body. Long, slow exhales. Soften just a bit. Again, nice, long, slow inhale. Nice, long, slow exhale. One more round. Now, as you exhale now, straighten your legs. You're going to lift the arm up into what we call reverse triangle. So your gaze is now going up the arm that's lifted, reaching out through the fingertips of the back hand, or you can rest it on your back thigh. Root down through your feet so you're really grounding and anchored here, and find your breath. Let your breath really fill the capacity of your lungs, nice and full as you inhale and as you exhale. Feel the breath infuse your body with energy. Feel the power of your breath. Harness the power of your breath as you breathe. One more. On your next exhale, bend your knee, move back into your warrior two. Stand your ground. Feel the strength. And then release. Parallel your feet. Slowly walk in together. Stand in your mountain with an awareness. Feel that energy moving up and down your body. We'll do one more standing posture and then we'll get ready for winding down. So I'm going to invite you, it's a little bit of challenge with the balance. So I'm going to use my chair. I'm going to take my chair off to the side, but my hand is going to be resting on the chair. And if you're going to, it's going to be a lunge. So I like to put one hand on the hip. My other hand is resting on my chair, by the way. But you're going to step the outside foot back, bend that knee. So it's going to be step back, and then you're going to lift the knee up and stand tall. And then you're going to step back, bend, and then come up and lift up, nice and slow. So if you're having stability problems, hold on to something. All right, we're going to do that again. So step the foot back, stand tall for the crown of your head, and then bring the leg up and forward. We'll do that 2 more times. Step back, lunge, and come all the way up, nice and strong. Last one, step back, and then lift that knee up all the way. Lower that foot, and just come back to your mountain. Observe the body. Feel the sensations. So the standing leg has a lot of energy in it for the support. Feel that energy moving the leg that was moving, the lifting leg. Notice the difference. We're going to do the opposite side now again. So you need to be stable and steady is really important. So you're going to step back into a lunge. I'd like to put my hand on my hip. Make sure knees and toes are facing the same direction in the lunge. And then you're going to step onto that standing leg and lift the knee up. And then you're going to step back, bend. And then you're going to sweep the knee up, stand tall. And then as you step back, bend. We'll do 3 more if you choose. If you had enough, you stop. Come back. 2 more, lift the knee, step it back. And last one, lift your knee and step it back. Bring both feet together. Come back, facing forward. Take your mountain pose. Observe the body. Take another big inhale. And then on your exhale, I'm going to invite those of you who want to do a full forward fold, exhale and forward fold. Come into that inversion. Now for those of you who do want to come into an inversion, use your chair for support as you come into a forward fold. Stretch your back, stretch your spine. For those of you who are in a forward fold without your chair, if you can bring your fingertips to the floor, go ahead. If you choose to, you can grab onto your elbows. Just allow your head and to hang. I call this the rag doll. Sometimes I just gently stretch from side to side, noticing how that feels. And then you're going to take your time now. Release your elbows, slide your hands to your knees and thighs. Come up halfway with your hands on your knees and thighs. We're going to do one more stretch for the back here. I call this the cat and cow standing variation. So as you inhale, lift your sternum, look forward and up. And then on your exhale, round your back, draw your navel center in. Just stretch out those low back muscles. Let's try that again. As you inhale, lift your sternum, lift your gaze. And then as you exhale, round. Really when you round, squeeze that navel center in. Lengthen that tailbone down. We'll do one more. Inhale, come into the cow. And then on your exhale, come into the cat, round your back. Walk your hands up your thighs. Come up to stand. Bring those shoulders forward and up. On an inhale, exhale, bring them back and down. And again, just notice the sensation of the practice. Notice your feelings and sensations. We're going to come into now final stretching and relaxation. So for those of you who are going to take a chair, you can do relaxation on a chair. Some of you who want to come onto your mat, come all the way down onto your mat. If you want to use your chair and a mat, another nice way is by when you come onto seat is to rest your legs on the seat of the chair, and you can come on down into a constructive rest pose. So I'm going to invite you to take your choice. So take your variation of rest pose. So if you come onto your back, your knees are bent and feet are flat on the floor, that's okay if they're on a chair. But if you want to just release your back and spine, maybe bring your knees into your chest and rock from side to side, just releasing any leftover tension or tightness that you still may be holding on to. And then find a supported, relaxed position. So if you're going to keep your legs all the way extended in a relaxation, go right ahead. If you rather sit in your chair for relaxation, stay in your chair. As I guide you through a gentle body scan, just take a moment to settle. And once you're settled, give your body any support that it might need so that you can feel even 5% more relaxed. Wherever you are, just notice the physical body, where you're sitting, where you're laying down. Become aware of your surroundings. In your mind's eye, see the four corners of your room. See yourself resting. Notice the sounds around you. Notice the sounds inside you. Begin to soften your facial features. Relax your brow. Soften your eyes. Soften your cheeks and lips. Relax your tongue from the palate. Relax your jaw. Soften your throat. Give your body permission to relax. Nowhere to go and nothing to do. So for the next 4 minutes, we're just resting. Rest your shoulders, rest your arms. Allow your torso to feel the supports behind it. Soften your belly, your hips, your thighs. Soften your knees and your feet so that your entire body now is resting in stillness. Just allow your mind to focus on the physical sensation now of your breath. Feel your breath. And I'll invite you to just focus the sensation of the breath at your nostrils. Feel the breath as you inhale. Touch the tips of your nostrils. Perhaps you notice the coolness of the breath on the inhale and the warmth of the breath on the exhale. Just stay with the flow of the breath in and breath out, with a focus at the tips of your nostrils. For the next minute, just rest in stillness with your breath. Slowly now, allow your awareness to gently come back to that physical body. Notice where your body's resting, whether you're resting on the floor or sitting in a chair. Feel the earth beneath you. Begin to wiggle your fingers. Begin to wiggle your toes. If your body needs to stretch, you can extend your arms overhead and take a long body stretch. Or extend your legs out and take a long body stretch. When you're ready to release, as you exhale, you can lower your arms. Gather your knees into your chest or bend your knees and place your feet on the ground. If you're on the ground and if you want to rock from side to side, rock from side to side, or just curl up in a fetal position for a moment. Observe the practice. Pause here. Notice that any time that you choose to come to this place within, this sanctuary within, it is always there waiting for you to arrive. Let's come together now. If you choose to come into a seated position, perhaps gather your hands to your heart or maybe bow your head inwardly. Pause in a place within that might feel something like gratitude. And from a place of gratitude, I'll invite you to consider one blessing today in your life that you're grateful for. And I'm thankful to all of you for allowing me the honor to be here today to hold this space and to share these practices. So the word Shanti means peace. I wish you all peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.